Proverbs 9, 1-12. Wisdom has built her house. She has hewed her 7 pillars. She has slaughtered her slaughtering, mixed her wine, and also set her table. She has sent her servant girls. She calls upon the wings of the high places of town. Whoever is simple, let him turn here. As for the one who lacks sense, she says to him, "Come, eat with my bread, drink with the wine I have mixed. Lay aside simplicity and live. Walk in the way of understanding. He who corrects a scoffer gains abuse for himself, and he who rebukes the wicked gets hurt. Do not rebuke a scoffer, lest he hate you. Rebuke the wise, and he will love you. Give to a wise one, and he will become more wise. Teach a righteous one, and he will increase learning. The start of wisdom is the fear of Yahweh, and knowledge of the Holy One, insight. For by me your days shall increase, and years of life shall multiply for you. If you are wise for yourself. And if you scoff, alone you shall bear it. Shalom, shalom, and welcome back. I used to love spring and all that it represented. Now I dread the early part of spring because I'm made to suffer and watch in horror and humiliation another year the so-called awakened Israelites profane the Almighty's name among the heathen as they attempt to keep the Passover in defilement. The only comfort I have in all this is knowing that Yahweh said he would step in for his holy name's sake. Ezekiel 36, 21-25. And I was concerned for my holy name, which the house of Israel defiled among the nations to which they went. Therefore, thus say to the house of Israel, thus saith Yahweh, not for your sake am I about to act, house of Israel, but for my holy name, which you defiled among the nations to which you went. And I will consecrate my great name, which was profaned among the nations, and which you have profaned in the midst of them. And the nation will know that I am Yahweh. A declaration of Yahweh Elohim when I show myself holy before their eyes. And I will take you from the nations, and I will gather you from all of the lands, and I will bring you to your land, and I will sprinkle on you pure water, and you will be clean from all your uncleanness, and I will cleanse you from all your idols. Father, I am making my complaint and my confession. I know that our fathers agreed to do all, and you gave specific instructions on how to keep your holy feast. It is our fathers' faults for forsaking you and disobeying. Please have mercy on us and forgive. I know that you are a just and righteous Father, for you said these words to Moses. Exodus 34, 6-7. And Yahweh passed before him, and he proclaimed, Yahweh, Yahweh Elohim, who is compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, and abounding with loyal love and faithfulness, keeping loyal love to the thousands, forgiving iniquities and transgression and sin. And he does not leave utterly unpunished, punishing the guilt of fathers on sons and on sons of sons on the third and fourth generation. My hope and trust is in you. I know you are faithful to your word. You said you would act for your holy name's sake. You also said you would not allow us to go unpunished. Father, please have mercy on the seed of Jacob and forgive us for this great sin and profaning the memorial of your holy Passover among these heathen, and the sins our fathers have committed in forsaking you and serving other gods. When our fathers were in the wilderness, the Almighty commanded Aaron and his sons, the Levites, to teach the nation the difference between the clean and the unclean, the set apart and the defiled. Leviticus 10:8-11. Then Yahweh spoke to Aaron, saying, You and your sons with you may not drink wine or strong drink when you come to the tent of assembly, so that you will not die. It is a lasting statute for your generations, and to distinguish between the holy and the unholy, as well as between the unclean and the clean, and to teach the Israelites all the rules that Yahweh has spoken to them through Moses. Ezekiel 44:23-24. And they will teach my people the difference between what is holy and what is unholy, and the difference between unclean and clean they must show them. And at a legal dispute they themselves shall stand to judge. Employing my judgments, they shall judge it. And with respect to my laws and my statutes, all my festivals they shall keep, and my Shabbats they shall consecrate. How did the children of Israel find themselves in a state where they cannot distinguish what's clean and what's unclean, what's set apart or holy and what is defiled? Or if they can or cannot keep feast in their current condition? Listen to what Yahweh has to say. Ezekiel 22:24-29. Son of man, say to her, You are a land not cleansed. It is not rained upon in the day of indignation. The conspiracy of its prophets in the midst of her is like a roaring lion that is tearing prey. They devour people, and they take wealth and treasure. They make its widows numerous in the midst of her. Its priests treat my law violently, and they profane my holy objects. They do not distinguish between a holy object and what is unholy, or between the clean and the unclean. They do not teach the difference. They hide their eyes from my Shabbats, and so I am profaned in the midst of them. Its officials are like wolves, tearing prey in its midst, to pour out blood, to destroy people, to make dishonest gain. And for them its prophets plaster whitewash. They are seeing falseness and are practicing divinations. For them by lying, saying, Thus saith Yahweh, and Yahweh has not spoken. They clearly oppress the people of the land, and they commit robbery. They mistreat the needy and the poor, and they oppress the alien without justice. The priests were indicted for the high crime of not teaching the difference between the holy and the profane, between the clean and the unclean. Therefore Yahweh said this. Malachi 2:1-9. And now, O ye priests, this commandment is for you. If you will not hear, and if you will not lay it to heart, to give glory unto my name, saith Yahweh of hosts, I will even send a curse upon you, and I will curse your blessings. Yea, I have cursed them already, because you do not lay it to heart. Behold, I will corrupt your seed and spread dung upon your faces, even the dung of your solemn feast, and one shall take you away with it, and ye shall know that I have sent this commandment unto you, that my covenant might be with Levi, saith Yahweh of hosts. My covenant was with him of life and peace, and I gave them to him for the fear wherewith he feared me, and was afraid before my name. The law of truth was in his mouth, and iniquity was not found in his lips. He walked with me in peace and equity, and did turn many away from iniquity. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth. For he is the messenger of Yahweh of hosts. But ye are departed out of the way. You have caused many to stumble at the law. You have corrupted the covenant of Levi, saith Yahweh of hosts. Therefore have I made you contemptible and base before all the people, according as ye have not kept my ways, but have been partial in the law. The provisions that Yahweh provided in the laws of Torah for the nation to learn the laws have been removed. Therefore, we cannot understand what is clean and what isn't, what is holy and what is defiled. And for some reason, we don't even understand the concept of punishment. The curse of confusion is all over us. We understand that when we punish our children and remove everything from them, that they go and take it back without permission, that child has disrespected and defied you. But we think this doesn't apply to us when our Father punishes us as a nation. Yahweh said he has put an end to our feast days as a punishment for worshiping idols and serving other gods. Why are we trying to keep something he has taken? Hosea 2:10-13. And now I will uncover her nakedness before the eyes of her lovers, and no one will rescue her from my hand. And I will put an end to all her mirth, her festivals, her new moons, her Shabbats, and all her appointed feasts. And I will lay waste in her vines and her fig trees, of which she said, they are my payment for prostitution, which my lovers gave to me. I will make them a forest, and the wild animals of the field will devour them. I will punish her for the days of the Baals, to whom she burnt incense, and she decked herself with her ornamental ring and jewelry, and she went after her lovers, and forgot me. A declaration of Yahweh. Jeremiah is a witness that Yahweh did what he said he would. Listen to his bitter cry and his lamentation. Lamentations 2:5-9. Yahweh was as an enemy. He hath swallowed up Israel. He hath swallowed up all her palaces. He hath destroyed his strongholds, and have increased in the daughter of Yehudah mourning and lamentation. And he hath violently taken away his tabernacle, as if it were of a garden. He hath destroyed his places of assembly. Yahweh hath caused the solemn feast and the Shabbats to be forgotten in Zion. He hath despised in the indignation of his anger the king and the priest. Yahweh hath cast off his altar. He hath abhorred his sanctuary. He hath given up into the hand of the enemies the walls of her palaces. They have made a noise in the house of Yahweh, as in the day of the solemn feast. Yahweh hath proposed to destroy the wall of the daughter of Zion. He hath stretched out a line. He hath not withdrawn his hand from destroying. Therefore he made the rampart and the wall to lament. They languish together. Her gates are sunk into the ground. He hath destroyed and broken her bars. Her king and her princes are among the Gentiles. The law is no more. Her prophets also find no vision from Yahweh. Have mercy. If Yahweh said he was going to put an end to the feast, and Jeremiah confirms that Yahweh indeed did it, why are we keeping feast, especially in a defiled land? What made the land defiled? The abominations that were done therein. Leviticus 18:6-27. None of you shall approach anyone who is close relative to expose nakedness. I am Yahweh. You must not expose your father's nakedness or your mother's nakedness. She is your mother. You must not expose her nakedness. You must not expose the nakedness of your father's wife. It is your father's nakedness. As for your sister's nakedness, whether your father's daughter or your mother's daughter, whether born at home or born abroad, you must not expose their nakedness. As for the nakedness of your son's daughter or your daughter's daughter, you must not expose their nakedness. As for the nakedness of the daughter of your father's wife, she is your sister, a relative of your father. You must not expose her nakedness. You must not expose the nakedness of your father's sister. She is your father's close relative. You must not expose the nakedness of your mother's sister, because she is your mother's close relative. You must not expose the nakedness of your father's brother. You must not have sex with his wife. She is your aunt. You must not expose your daughter-in-law's nakedness. She is your son's wife. You must not expose her nakedness. You must not expose the nakedness of your brother's wife. She is your brother's nakedness. You must not expose the nakedness of a woman and her daughter, or her son's daughter, or her daughter's daughter. You must not take her as a wife to expose her nakedness. They are close relatives. That is wickedness. And you must not take as wife a woman with her sister, to be a rival wife, to expose her nakedness before her during her life. And you must not have sex with a woman to expose her nakedness during her menstrual uncleanness. You must not have sex with your fellow citizen's wife, becoming unclean with her. And you shall not give any of your offspring in order to sacrifice them to Molech, nor shall you profane the name of Yahweh your Elohim. I am Yahweh. And you shall not lie with a male as lying with a woman. That is a detestable thing. And you shall not have sexual relations with any animal, becoming unclean with it. And a woman shall not stand before an animal to copulate with it. That is a perversion. You must not make yourselves unclean in any of these things, because the nations whom I am driving out from your presence were made unclean by all these. So the land became unclean, and I have brought the punishment of its guilt upon it, and the land has vomited out its inhabitants. But you, neither native nor the alien who dwells in your midst, shall keep my statutes, my regulations, and you shall not practice any of these detestable things, because the people of the land who were before you did all these detestable things, so the land became unclean. Aren't these things done here daily? Not only by the heathen, but by Israel as well. How do you think you are clean enough for a feast with all this evil among us? When we were in our own land, these things made us and the land unclean. Jeremiah 16, 17-18. I can see everything you are doing. Even if you try to hide your sins from me, I will punish you double for your sins, because you have polluted my own land. You have filled it with lifeless idols that remind me of dead bodies. Don't this land allow its inhabitants to worship any idol god they want? What do you think their statute on freedom of religion is about? Yahweh is a jealous Elohim. You think he is coming to keep a feast among all these idols when he told us to destroy the idols in our own land? Exodus 34:12-16. Be careful for yourselves, lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land to which you are going, lest it be a snare among you. Rather, you will tear down their altars. You will break their stone pillars. You will cut off their Asherah poles. For you will not bow and worship to another god. For Yahweh is jealous, is his name. He is a jealous Elohim. Lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they prostitute themselves after their gods, and they sacrifice to their gods, and they invite you, and you eat their sacrifice. And you take from their daughters for your sons, and their daughters prostitute themselves after their gods, and they cause your sons to prostitute themselves after their gods. Your children today are celebrating holidays like Christmas and Thanksgiving and all of the holidays that these heathen celebrate. They have mingled among these people. They are making children among them, and you think that you're clean? Numbers 35:33-34. So you will not pollute the land in which you are, because blood pollutes the land. No atonement can be made for the land for the blood that is poured out on it, except with the blood of the one who poured it out. You will not defile the land on which you are living, because I am living in the midst of it. I am Yahweh. I am living in the midst of the Israelites. How many of your brothers and sisters' blood run in the streets of this land? No one has paid the penalty for that. Yahweh said blood pollutes the land, and atonement can only be made by the blood of the one who poured it out. This is not just a law for Israel alone. Yahweh said these words to the sons of Noah. Genesis 9:1-6. And Yahweh blessed Noah and his sons, and said to them, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth. And fear of you and dread of you shall be upon every animal of the earth, and on every bird of heaven, and on everything that moves upon the ground, and on all the fish of the sea. Into your hands they shall be given. Every moving thing that lives shall be for you as food. As I have given the green plant to you, I have now given you everything. Only you shall not eat raw flesh with blood in it, and your lifeblood I will require. From every animal I will require it, and from the hand of humankind, from the hand of each man to his brother, I will require the life of humankind. As for the one shedding the blood of humankind, by humankind his blood shall be shed, for Yahweh made humankind in his own image. Now that we have established that the land is defiled, next I will ask, is it possible to bring a clean thing from an unclean thing? Job 14:4. Who can bring a clean thing from an unclean thing? No one. Our scriptures say, no one is able to bring a clean thing from an unclean thing. How then are you presenting defiled animals from the land of our enemies as a Passover sacrifice to Yahweh? All the food in this land is defiled. Ezekiel 4:12-14. And as a bread cake of barley you shall eat it, and with human excrement you shall bake it before their eyes. And Yahweh said, thus shall the Israelites eat their unclean of food among the nations where I will scatter them. Even Moses said it wouldn't be right to sacrifice the abominations of the Egyptians to Yahweh. Exodus 8:25-26. And Pharaoh called for Moses and for Aaron and said, go ye, Sacrifice to your God in the land. And Moses said, It is not meet to do so, for we shall sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians to Yahweh our Elohim. Lo, shall we sacrifice the abominations of the Egyptians before their eyes? And will they not stone us? The descendants of the children of Israel do not understand that this is not right, because they do not have a priest to teach them. Their brothers are masquerading around, pretending to have understanding, but walking contrary to the words of Yahweh our Elohim. Our fathers agreed to do all that Yahweh said, no adding, no diminishing from what is commanded. Let's see what Yahweh commanded concerning Passover, and if we are able to keep the agreement to do all that Yahweh said. Exodus 12, 1-11. And Yahweh spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for a house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or the goats, and ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the 2 side posts and on the upper door post of the houses, wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire, and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire, his head, with his legs, with the purtenance thereof. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. And that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. And thus shall you eat it, with your loins girt, with your shoes on your feet, and with your staff in your hand. Ye shall eat it in haste. It is Yahweh's Passover. On the 10th day of the month of Abib, our fathers were commanded to select a lamb for their household. The lamb must be big enough to feed the household. It must be a year-old male without defect. Yahweh never said go to the supermarket and purchase a piece of lamb from your local grocery store. A whole male lamb was to be selected and set aside until the 14th day of the month. You were to keep it separate from all the other animals for those 4 days. On the 14th day of the month of Abib, you were to slaughter it at twilight. It could only be roasted with fire. They were to eat it with bitter herbs and unleavened bread. The blood of the lamb was to be smeared on the 2 side posts and on the upper door post. It was not to be left over until the morning. Anything that was left was to be burnt with fire. Now, if anything was omitted from the first command to select a lamb on the 10th day of the month, your Passover is defiled, because you have not followed the instructions given by Yahweh. Haven't we been told that obedience is better than sacrifice? Yahweh wants your obedience more than anything. 1 Samuel 15, 22-23. And Samuel said, Have Yahweh as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of Yahweh? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh, he has also rejected thee from being king. Let's see what else Yahweh has commanded about his Passover. Deuteronomy 12, 13-14. Take heed to thyself that thou offer not thy burnt offerings in every place that thou seest, but in the place which Yahweh shall choose in one of thy tribes, there thou shalt offer thy burnt offerings. There thou shalt do all that I command thee. Deuteronomy 16, 1-7. Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover unto Yahweh thy Elohim. For in the month of Abib, Yahweh thy Elohim brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. Thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Passover unto Yahweh thy Elohim, of the flock and the herd, in the place which Yahweh shall choose to place his name there. Thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction. For thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt in haste, that thou mayest remember the day when thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt, all the days of thy life. And there shall be no leavened bread seen with thee in all thy coasts 7 days. Neither shall there anything of the flesh which thou sacrificest the first day at even remain all night unto the morning. Thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates, which Yahweh thy Elohim giveth thee, but at the place which Yahweh thy Elohim shall choose to place his name there. There thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at evening, at the going down of the sun, at the season that thou camest forth out of Egypt. And thou shalt roast and eat it in the place which Yahweh thy Elohim shall choose, and thou shalt turn in the morning and go into thy tents. Yahweh commanded us to sacrifice the Passover only in the place that he choose. Today, that place is desolate. No one visits there to offer the Passover sacrifice as commanded. Please remember, if we fail to do all that Yahweh said, he will punish us. Leviticus 26, 14-17. But if you will not hearken unto me, and will not do all these commandments, and if you shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that you will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant, I will also do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning ague, that shall consume the eyes and cause sorrow of heart. And ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it. And I will set my face against you, and ye shall be slain before your enemies, and they that hate you shall reign over you, and ye shall flee when none pursueth you. Israel, I ask again, how are you keeping the Passover of Yahweh when you cannot do all that Yahweh said? Yes, Yahweh said this is a statute throughout all your generations. However, once Yahweh said he was causing it to cease, it ceases. If you are given instructions on something today, then the instructor comes back tomorrow and says, we will stop this until further notice. What instructions do you follow? The instructions that you desire most, or the last instruction given? Of course, it would be the last instruction given. How are we keeping any feast when Yahweh said these words? Isaiah 1, 10-15. Hear the word of Yahweh, ye rulers of Sodom. Give ear unto the law of our Elohim, you people of Gomorrah. To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, saith Yahweh? I am full of the burnt offerings of rams and the fat of fed beasts, and I delight not in the blood of bullocks, or of lambs, or of he-goats. When you come to appear before me, who have required this at your hands, to tread my courts? Bring no more vain oblations. Incense is an abomination unto me. The new moons, the Shabbats, the calling of assemblies, I cannot away with. It is iniquity, even the solemn meetings. Your new moons and your appointed feasts My soul hateth. They are a trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them. And when ye spread forth your hands, I will hide my eyes from you. Yea, when you make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood. Passover is required to be sacrificed by the whole congregation at twilight. We read that Yahweh commanded us not to offer our sacrifices anywhere we find ourselves. We were commanded to only offer our sacrifices in the place where Yahweh commanded. We were also commanded to eat the sacrifice at that place. We just established that we are unclean, as well as the land we are currently in. Not only are we unclean, we are far from the place where Yahweh commanded us to offer this sacrifice. What did Yahweh command us to do if we were unclean or far away from the place he commanded? Numbers 9:4-12. And Moses spake unto the children of Israel, that they should keep the Passover. And they kept the Passover on the 14th day of the first month at evening in the wilderness of Sinai. According to all that Yahweh commanded Moses, so did the children of Israel. And there were certain men who were defiled by the dead body of a man, that they could not keep the Passover on that day. And they came before Moses and before Aaron on that day. And those men said unto him, We are defiled by the dead body of a man. Wherefore are we kept back, that we may not offer an offering of Yahweh in the appointed season among the children of Israel? And Moses said unto them, Stand still, and I will hear what Yahweh will command concerning you. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If any man of you or of your posterity shall be unclean by reason of a dead body, or be in a journey afar off, yet he shall keep the Passover unto Yahweh. The 14th day of the second month at evening they shall keep it, and eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. They shall leave none of it unto the morning, nor break any bone of it. According to all the ordinances of the Passover, they shall keep it. We just read the instructions that Yahweh gave when we are unclean or on a far journey. Why then are the sons of Israel attempting to do these things in a defiled, strange land? This is not the instruction that Yahweh gave us. He did not instruct us to keep the Passover or any sacrifice in our enemy's land. By doing so, you have failed to obey the commands of Yahweh. Israel does not have a priest today to instruct them when they are in error. Isaiah 29:10-16. For Yahweh hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, have he covered, and the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I cannot, for it is sealed. And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I am not learned. Wherefore Yahweh said, Forasmuch as this people draw near me with their mouth, and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their hearts far from me, and their fear towards me is taught by the precepts of men. Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, and a marvelous work and a wonder, for the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh, and their works are in the dark. And they say, Who seeth us? And who knoweth us? Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say to him that made it, He made me not? Or shall the thing framed say to him that framed it, He hath no understanding? What is being done today is not wisdom. It is not the instructions set forth in the law of Moses. Look what Yahweh said about following His instructions. Proverbs 8:32-36. Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. Hear instruction, and be wise, and refuse it not. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the post of my doors. For whoso findeth me findeth life, and obtaineth favor from Yahweh. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death. Psalms 32:8-10. I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go. I will guide thee with my eye. Be ye not as the horse or as the mule, which have no understanding, whose mouth shall be held in with the bit and bridle, lest they should come near unto thee. Many sorrows shall be to the wicked, but he that trusteth in Yahweh, mercy shall compass him about. Out of the mouth of wisdom, rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. Are you a wise man or a scoffer? Will you take the time and read the instructions set forth in the law of Moses, or will you scoff at the words of your father? Look what your father has said to those who wander out of the path of understanding. Proverbs 21:16. Whoever wanders from the way of understanding, in the assembly of the dead he will rest. Those that were unclean, which is the whole congregation of Israel today, were not allowed to come before Yahweh for a feast. If they did, they would die. Numbers 19:20. But the man that shall be unclean shall not purify himself, that soul shall be cut off from among the congregation, because he have defiled the sanctuary of Yahweh. The water of separation has not been sprinkled upon him, he is unclean. When has the water of separation been sprinkled upon us as a people? Never. Yahweh did say He would sprinkle clean water upon us. When did He say He would do that? Ezekiel 36:24-28. For I will take you from among the heathen, and gather you out of all countries, and will bring you into your own land. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean. From all your filthiness and from all your idols will I cleanse you. A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you. And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit within you, and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them. And ye shall dwell in the land that I gave your fathers, and ye shall be my people, and I will be your Elohim. Hallelujah. I know that you want to please Yahweh, that you've been taught by your leaders that Yahweh requires us to do these things to get back in His good favor. But what did Yahweh say? What did He say? Did He say He would accept us here or somewhere else? Ezekiel 20:39-43. As for you, O house of Israel, thus saith Yahweh Elohim, Go ye, serve ye every one his idols, and hereafter also, if ye will not hearken unto me, but pollute ye my holy name no more with your gifts and with your idols. For in my holy mountain, in the mountain of the heights of Israel, saith Yahweh of hosts, there shall all the house of Israel, all of them in the land, serve me. there will I accept them. There will I require your offerings, the first fruits of your oblations, with all your holy things. I will accept you with your sweet savor when I bring you out from the people and gather you out of all the countries wherein ye have been scattered. And I will be sanctified in you before the heathen. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh, when I shall bring you into the land of Israel, into the country for which I lifted up my hand to give to your fathers. There shall ye remember your ways, and all your doings wherewith ye have been defiled, and ye shall loathe yourselves in your own sight for all the evils that ye have committed. Have mercy. Take the time to read your scriptures, Israel. Ask Yahweh for insight. Humble yourselves before your Father. Accept correction, Israel. Now, if you can show within the law and the testimony where Yahweh commanded us to keep the Passover in an unclean state, I will gladly accept correction. Shalom, and I hope you will join me for the next video.